When you give a customer a single flat price, you trap them. They're only going to say yes or no because that's the only choice they have. But when you stop selling on transactional services and start selling a premium outcome, everything changes. Today, I'm going to show you how a simple shift to master premium service pricing can instantly double your ticket size on the exact same job without adding a single dollar to your labor cost. Let's party. If you're a young professional trying to start your first home service business, you're probably thinking that winning means being the cheapest guy in town. So you look at your market and you'll see an established guy charging a job, say for like $400, and you think, I'm going to charge $250, so that way I can steal all that work. When I started SOS Garage Door Service here in Chino, California, I did the exact same thing. I chased every low ball job. I was exhausted, stressed, barely breaking even, until I realized that customers don't actually want cheap products. They don't want cheap services. What they actually want is results. Results that they can trust in a home service provider that's trustworthy. So when you compete on price, you enter into a race to the bottom. And what happens is that you start to attract the absolute worst nightmare price shoppers because all they care about is the bottom line. And what that leaves you with is zero profit margins, and you need profit in order to actually scale your business. Worst of all, you trap yourself working in your business as opposed to working on your business. And that's very important when you're starting out as a home service provider. So now instead of using a single quote, you want to present to your customers what is considered a tier system pricing, a good, better, best scenario. And that's not too hard to do. Think about when you go to a restaurant. Isn't it true that when you see a menu on a restaurant, there's a lot of different options? Now, some of the best restaurants have a very simple menu. Basically, they'll offer a appetizer, then you'll get like an entree, and maybe you'll have like some desserts. Now, I know that analogy kind of fits more for like the food industry, but follow me here. Because your customer thinks in those ways. They want to be able to understand how much bang for their buck are they getting out of the services that you provide. Now, when I present, for example, what is a better best scenario, it's usually for like torsion springs. Now, by breaking down the math for a torsion spring repair, you'll be able to see some similarities in your home service trade. The idea is you want to create what is a master template. And you can do that, again, by establishing tiers. Now, tier 1 is basically the good option. This is your standard, straightforward, pro-grade garage door fix that will include torsion springs. Let's say it costs roughly around $500, and it replaces the broken torsion spring. It also replaces the spring that is not broken because usually when one spring breaks, the other is short to go. And the standard cycle life usually will start at around 10,000 cycles, but for the value that we provide to our customers, we start easily, and I think it's fair to start this way, with a 20,000 cycle spring. Now this solves the immediate emergency, and it is a professional grade repair that the customer can get immediate value from, so that way their garage door is not only working, but working safe for them and their family. But remember, we're looking at a menu of options. So we want to then steer them to the tier 2 option, the better option. And this is somewhere within the $700, maybe $800 range. Now, what are we getting for those $800? Well, basically, we're installing what is considered a true high cycle spring. Those 20,000 cycles can easily be bumped to 30, 40, maybe 50,000 cycles. And you can explain that to your customer by using a simple analogy. This is the install and forget it option. In other words, they are going to have these springs for a very long time, which is true. In most cases, a 50,000, a 60,000, even a 70,000 spring will literally last a lifetime. So what that means for your customer is that if they plan on living in that home for the next 10, 15, 20 years, this gives them total peace of mind with their garage door torsion spring replacement. their springs will provide not only the cycle life for the time that they live in their home, but even then some. And helping your customer to understand that will allow them to perhaps maybe choose that better option because they want to set it and forget it. And I think that's pretty appealing, particularly because many families are staying longer in the homes that they purchase. Now, it's important that you don't shoot yourself in the foot here because when you do offer a high cycle spring at a premium price, you want to help your customer understand that there are caveats. For example, even though the springs are covered, it won't cover like accidents to the garage, or if they fail to maintain the garage, like lubricating the rollers, getting a regular maintenance, or say, for example, the garage door operator goes kaput, or it does something that affects the door in a way that creates an accident or problems. And we haven't even gotten into like what are considered like acts of nature. Well, your warranty needs to be very specific that these springs are covered, but all of the other moving parts, all the other parts to the garage door system is not covered. So again, if you can apply this to what is your trade in the home service business, you might think like, yeah, okay, so we're replacing basically a condenser, we're replacing this HVAC system, but it does not include all of the maintenance that normally happens with like changing the filters, getting the freon done. Yeah, I think you get my drift. So it's important that we understand that and that we help the customer understand that, and they make this expense thinking that whatever they've paid for in the services of a replacement to a torsion spring system, that they're not going to have to worry about anything else for the garage door system, and that is simply not true. So if you have no problem selling them the tier 2 option, then getting them to tier 3 shouldn't be very difficult. And tier 3 is basically the best option. Now, we're talking about the example of torsion springs, right? So the price point for the tier 3 option will easily start anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,200. Now, you're not just going to replace the springs. You're going to replace the end bearing plates. You're going to upgrade their torsion tube. You're going to upgrade their rollers, their cables. The idea is you're offering a lot of bang for your buck. And I think when it comes to replacing torsion springs, that has a lot of value because it's usually these components that will help the torsion springs reach their maximum potential in cycle life. Think of it like when you're replacing tires to your vehicle, well, you think like, well, if I'm replacing tires, I might as well replace my wheels, get some brand new, nice alloy wheels that will work with my brand new tires. And if I'm also replacing my wheels, I might as well get my wheel alignment done to my vehicle. Therefore, whatever that tier 3 pricing is, it's going to come with a number of benefits, a number of features, a number of value to help you make that decision, to help you, to entice you to get to that tier 3 option. You want to make sure that this customer has the peace of mind that they won't have to worry about replacing the spring, these components, these rollers, and the customer should not have any problem in reaching out to the dealer contractor if they do break prematurely. So it's, again, a strategy that will help you to get your customer from the next price point up, but still offer tons of value so that way you can grow your home service business. Now look at the underlining data because it's really interesting. The time and labor to install a $500 spring versus a $1,200 spring package is exactly the same. So by shifting the conversation from a transactional cost to a long-term outcome, yeah, that starts to double your average tickets. And the net profit that you get for these jobs skyrockets your business. So when you implement into your business a tier system or a menu service option, your customers will tend to go with a better or best option versus the low-hanging fruit or the good option. Now you might be asking, how am I supposed to do all of this? That is, track premium tier pricing, look professional, and actually get homeowners to sign off on a $1,200 ticket when I'm just starting off. And the answer to that is by building a system so that way you can get to that level. And the system that has helped us to build tier pricing has been Jobber. Now hear me out, because you are starting your home service business and you need to integrate an elite tool like Jobber into your operations from day one. When I brought Jobber into my service workflow, my close rate started to go up on the premium tiers. And it's because we gave our customers the total confidence in our brand and in our business. And if you want to stop looking like a handyman or a small-time operator, and you want to start looking like an elite business owner, then check the first link in the description below for a special trial offer to launch your business today with Jobber. Trust me, it will help you start right. Now here's a little pro tip for you. So once you have your operation systems ready, you don't need to spend weeks sweating over spreadsheets, trying to write out your master premium pricing and the tiers by hand. This is where you're going to leverage AI, and you can easily just type into AI, generate for me a pricing structure based on a good, better, best tier strategy for X services. In this case, it would be for garage door spring replacements. Now, we can do this again through AI, and there's no specific AI app that I'm going to promote, but I will say that you want to be familiar with the AI that of your choice, because you're going to build an agent, or an AI agent, I should say, off of that specific model. And it should give you just a lot of great feedback, so that way you can provide the type of pricing that can easily be adjusted in the event that your customers say like, oh yeah, that's just too much, or I don't think that the value you're offering is worth that price point. So naturally, you'll adjust to be able to accommodate that specific feedback. And it's important that you do pay attention to that feedback, because your customer is basically saying, hey, listen, I like you, I trust you, but I don't think I can afford all of that goodness for the price point that you're giving me. It's just something to consider when you are building this tiered pricing. So what have we covered? Well, it's pretty simple. When you present 3 specific tiers of value for your customer, you completely alter the psychology of choice. Remember, when you just give a price just for one option, the customer is either going to choose yes or no. But when you give them several options, the 3-tiered structure will help them to make a better buying decision. And your customer is going to thank you for it. But again, it's important that your brain shift to help the customer also shift their way of thinking. So take that into consideration when you are pricing your next jobs. Now, we've considered a number of strategies on pricing your customers, but how do you exactly get customers? What's some of the best strategies in attracting customers? Well, I want you to check out this video right here that provides that. In addition to that, we also have a coaching program. So if you're looking to get into the home service business trade, if you want to become a garage door contractor, then check the links below, because we are accepting applicants for our coaching program. As always, I want to thank you all for partying with me. Y'all stay safe.